There are two, right? There's K-N-O-W.
WIN is an acronym for what I need. So during this time, WIN is a set of time within all of our students' schedule where we are able to focus what they need related to reading.
And so what happens during that time is students are grouped according to their ability level based on focus skills. We also have a universal screener called Ames Web, so we use that data, as well as teacher input, as well as any curriculum tests that they may have taken that have identified a weakness.
So students are flexibly grouped, and we are focusing on the 5 major components of reading: phonological awareness, phonics, reading comprehension, vocab, and reading fluency. And then we are really addressing what are eligible content and reinforcing, remediating, or enriching those skills during that time.
Ethan, Dominic, you have the table. Brady and Chase, you have their...
It's really going well. It wasn't at first just because we had to get our feet wet and really try different strategies, but now that we have established a routine for each day of the week, it's going so much smoother.
It's been good. It's been a learning process, and it's been, you know, there's been bumps along the road, but we definitely have it much more organized and working for us now. We focus on word work on Tuesday, high frequency words Wednesday, Thursdays we do comprehension, and Fridays we do writing. So that's kind of worked out well for us.
Multi-tiered system of support is a system to support students, may it be enrichment, remediation, or reinforcement. So it is a tiered system, so we are able to then support students that have significant deficits through tier 2 and tier 3 interventions, but the main focus is that big tier 1, which are all of our 80% or more of our students.
Tier 1 is a level where students stay within the classroom. If a student would be identified as a tier 2, then they would go to either a reading specialist or an interventionist, and that's usually how the school year starts. As the school year progresses, there are students that through the interventions, they have not made as much progress as we have liked. And so at that time, they might move to a tier 3, and they still see the interventionist, but the interventions that are used have changed or become more intense or have a higher frequency of use with the intervention. So they spend more time with that interventionist to hopefully close any gaps that students have at that time.
As everyone's embarking on implementing MTSS and WIN, some of the questions that we've got specifically for first grade is how we are determining our groupings in support for those students that are going to need that extra reading support. So through our universal screener, Ames Web, we definitely look at the composite, but we really look at every subtest that's listed. So based upon different qualifications, kind of giving every one of those subtests a different ranking, students that fall in those categories go under specialist review, we call it.
So today what we were working on were our phonics with our first grade group. We really are targeting this reading skill with this particular group as it's such a huge part of reading development, especially in our primary grades. We're using a program called Sunday, and we've been trained throughout the district, and we are using this at Ingomar Elementary and McKnight Elementary this year.
This is our 95% group intervention. These are all first graders working on the long I. We're doing a word sort. This is our 4th day of working on long I with a magic E.
I try to make it fun. It's at the end of the day, so you have to entertain them a little bit to keep them occupied, but I think they like it.
So today is my phonics day. We have phonics day on Tuesday. So right now I'm working with a group of students on poetry, phonics poetry. Right now we're working on Y as long E. So we did a nonsense word sort and a real word sort to begin, and then we did some poetry. So we read some poems that had Y as long E, and then we're having the kids draw just to show their understanding.
I like to have my kids split into their ability groups based on where their needs are for the week or the skill that we're working on. And I have one above level group, 2 on level groups, and then 2 groups that are our tier 2 kids that go to see Mrs. Liebert and Mrs. Channel. My green group is moving to silly sentences. Red group is going to me at red table.
Students love W.I.N. That's been when we just did a survey here of our strengths of what we've done, looking at feedback of things we need to change, and was the one positive of how much the students really like, because they are challenged at their own specific level.
You know, it's interesting because I think we have such a strong team here that the kids actually like the idea sometimes of being pulled, working in a small group. The personalities that we have here with the teachers and the interventionist and the reading specialist, I think, speak for themselves. You always have that little bit of hesitation that when you're pulling a student, are they going to be resistant? But the fluidity, number one, has helped, where students that work with the interventionist, it's not necessarily for the whole year. So they might be with the interventionist or the reading specialist and then back in the regular classroom for a while. Because of the fluidity, the tiers can change. So I think it's just, again, it's become that this is just what we do. Not necessarily at the beginning of the year. I think kids were kind of like, well, why am I going here? Why am I going there? But even in first grade, to have those conversations with the students to say, you're going here because this is a program that's going to help you, and you're going to get to do this on the computer, and then you're going to get to work with this person and that person. It was kind of like, oh, okay, so I get to do all of these different things, but then they would wind up being back in the classroom with their homeroom teacher. So it's worked really well.